Who's going to win the NBA Finals in 2020? That's the question. And to me, it's really an easy and it's an obvious answer. It's the LA Lakers. But the real question now is, can anybody upset these Lakers? Listen, the Denver Nuggets right now, they got their hands full with these boys. It was supposed to be the Clippers. You had teams that like Houston Rockets, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors. But we're down to just 4 squads left. And the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat are over there in the Eastern Conference doing battle. They're locked up. So who are these 3 teams, whether it's the Nuggets, the Celtics, or the Heat, can actually knock off this LA Laker team? I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't think any of these teams can do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Listen, I'm a Laker homer, right? Everybody understands that I'm a Laker fan. And there may be some bias there. But when I'm looking at this team on paper, and when I see it on the court, these boys right here are loaded, man. These boys right here are playing on another level that we really don't see from NBA championship teams. Think about this. They're 10-2 right now in the playoffs, right? They've lost game 1 of the entire playoffs against Portland. They lost game 1 against Houston, and now they're up 2-0. Does this Denver team, do they have any chance? Is anybody giving them any chance? At the beginning of this series, I felt that the Denver Nuggets would lose in 5. But can they even win a game? Listen, after watching last night's game, game 2, that may have been the best chance that they had of winning a game. I thought game 1, in all honesty, would have been the best chance because the Lakers had 6 days off. They didn't get it done in game 1. They almost got routed in game 1. Game 2 comes out, and the Denver Nuggets, they were down 16 just like they were to the Clippers. But this isn't the Clipper team that the Lakers are. This right here is a well-oiled machine, and those boys came, and even though Denver tried to make comebacks and they actually came back and took the lead, the LA Lakers show why they're not the Clippers, why they're not the Utah Jazz. The LA Lakers showed why they have that championship moxie, why they are bound, in my opinion, to win the 2020 NBA championship. Listen, you got to think about it like this for a second. What the Lakers are doing right now is not unprecedented. We've seen teams go on a run. But for this Laker team, they haven't won 6 straight games as they're doing right now, 6 straight playoff games, since the last time they won a championship in 2010. This Laker team right here has 2 dynamic players. Listen, LeBron and Anthony Davis were top 6, both of them. LeBron was a runner-up and Anthony Davis was number 6 in the MVP race. So this squad right here is featuring 2 of the best players in the game, and they're playing like it together. You saw in game 2, LeBron James came on the first half and dominated, put up like 20 points and was just unguardable. Then in the second half, it seemed like Anthony Davis flipped the switch and said, okay, now it's my turn to take over. Finishing the game with 31 points, scoring 10 points in the fourth quarter, the last 10 points of the fourth quarter to seal the game. And then that game-winning shot, man. That right there, that game-winning shot by Anthony Davis, that right there is Laker basketball. That is clutch, gene, Mamba mentality. Like, that's what it's about. As a Laker fan, and just as a basketball fan in general, how could you not enjoy that? How could you not enjoy the Lakers wearing their Kobe Bryant Black Mamba jerseys, down 1, running a play, and even though it kind of botched up, Anthony Davis comes off for a screen, and I swear it looked like Kobe Bryant coming off the screen with nothing but net, with the confidence to take it, to make it, and then to yell out Kobe after he hit the shot. The buzzer beat, the first and the only buzzer beat up in the playoffs of Anthony Davis' career. Listen, man, what we saw last night is the beginning of something special. So in this show, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down not only what I saw from the Lakers, because what I'm seeing, you're seeing. So it's nothing that's not obvious of what we're seeing. But the real question is there any team that can stop these boys from not only winning this year, what about what's coming up next year or the year after that? Listen, you see the shirt where dynasties happen. The Lakers are one of the best teams, probably the best team, when it comes to putting together multiple dynasties. We've seen that with the George Mikan dynasty, where they won 5 chips. We saw that with the Wilt and Jerry West, Magic and Kareem, Kobe and Shaq, even Kobe and Gasol. They didn't have a dynasty, but they went to 3 straight finals and won back-to-back titles. What is the ceiling on this Laker team, man? Because these boys right now, they are rolling. And once again, you don't want to really count your eggs before they hatch. I just don't see who's going to stop. You tell me who's going to stop these Lakers from winning the 2020 NBA championship. You let me know who's going to upset the Lakers this season. I don't know, man. Let's get into this one.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey with Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Ballaholic. Now, if you're new on this channel here, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, absolutely addicted to basketball. And just like everybody, I have my own opinions. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure to tap that bell notification so that you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, man, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I will not sugarcoat this. This thing right here looks like, it has the look like this NBA playoffs is getting out of hand. Everybody wanted to see Lakers versus Clippers. We didn't get that. So now we're left with the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. And this thing is eerily similar to the 2009 finals run that the Lakers went on. Remember, during that 2009 finals, Kobe Bryant was going for his 4th NBA championship. Well, LeBron James is going for his 4th NBA championship. In the second round in 2009, the Lakers had to go up against who? The Houston Rockets. In the Western Conference Finals, who did the Lakers have to go up against in 2009? The Denver Nuggets. What are the Lakers doing this year? The Houston Rockets and now the Denver Nuggets. In 2009, go back. Remember, they wound up winning that championship in 5 games in Orlando. They won the championship in Orlando. Where are the playoffs being played now? In Orlando. Listen, when I say eerily similar, then to have the unfortunate tragic death of Kobe Bryant passing away this year, and for them to have these Black Mamba jerseys that they're undefeated in, and to put those on in a game like yesterday, and for Anthony Davis to hit a shot like he hit with that jersey on, to yell out Kobe. Then I saw Vanessa Bryant today, she even paid homage to that, saying, you know, that was a Kobe Bryant shot. Listen, Anthony Davis, we're seeing the coming of something special. Remember when LeBron James won his first championship? It took Dwayne Wade to take a step back for LeBron James to truly, you know, just kind of emerge as that #1, that superstar that we all knew that he could be. Now we're seeing LeBron playing that leadership role, taking a step back and allowing Anthony Davis to be that. Davis right now is averaging, 34 points a game in the Western Conference Finals, 52.5% from the field, giving almost 10 rebounds. I mean, he's dominated every single series he's been in. Listen, this man right here, I don't see an answer from the Denver Nuggets. I don't see an answer from the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat. There is no answer left in these playoffs for Anthony. There may not be an answer in the entire NBA for Anthony Davis, let alone putting him beside LeBron James, who still is the best player in the game. So the real question is, can anybody upset him? We don't know. And I think we gotta wait and see who comes out of the West, out of the East, between Miami and Boston, and how they particularly match up with the Lakers. Because the Denver Nuggets, they're done. Like, you can go ahead and stick a fork in those boys. They're done. I thought it would be in 5, and it may still go 5. I wouldn't be surprised if things are sweet. Tomorrow night is Game 3. If they don't win tomorrow night, there really is no chance. I mean, LeBron James, he's never lost a series when he went up 2-0. So some may say this series is already over. We know with the Denver Nuggets, you can never truly count them out. And they did have a chance to win Game 2, but they didn't win it. They had a chance. They were right there, but they didn't get the job done. So when you start thinking about this Laker team, because I think they're going to the finals, and I think once they get there, they're going to win the championship. I've been saying it all season. Go back and check the tape. I felt this. Once they got Anthony Davis and paired him with LeBron James, it was a wrap. As long as those boys stayed healthy. So now that we're moving forward, we're saying, can a team from the East do it? We got to wait and see. On Friday, on my next episode, I'm going to be discussing the Celtics versus the Miami Heat, because that series is starting to really heat up, especially with Gordon Hayward coming back in the Boston Celtics, kind of gaining a little ground, cutting that series to 2-1 lead that Miami now has. So we got to see how that's going to play out, as Game 4 will be on Wednesday night. But let's just say the LA Lakers do win this series. Let's just say the LA Lakers do win the championship. Who stops them next year? Like, is there anybody that can stop the Lakers from winning this year and even next year? Remember this. The Lakers are they're at a disadvantage in this playoffs. They're missing their starting guard in Avery Bradley. He's the best perimeter defender. They don't have Avery Bradley. The Lakers are also the one team that every single round gets delayed in knowing who they're going to play. Remember, to start off the first round, they had the play-in game. So all the other teams knew who their opponents were able to start scheming. The Lakers had to wait for the Portland Trailblazers to get through their playoff round, so they found out their opponent for the first round later than anybody. Same thing with the second round against Houston. Houston wound up going 7 games in their first round matchup with OKC, so the Lakers had a long layoff. Denver went 7 games with Clippers, so they had a long layoff. So you got a lot of time in between. But most importantly, out of all of those series, the Lakers would have had home court advantage, and not one of those games was in Staples Center. As we know, there is no home court advantage in that Orlando bubble. So we're talking about a Laker team who's going to be bringing basically everybody back next year, and you're going to be adding a starting guard in Avery Bradley, their best perimeter defender. We've seen how they defended Dame Lillard. We've seen how the Lakers defended James Harden and now Jamal Murray. Like, they're corralling these guys and swarming these guys. We've seen that. So who in the world is going to stop this team when they're going to be adding a legitimate starting player back to this core next year? As we've seen the Carusos break out, we've seen KCP be legitimate. We've seen Danny Green be the playoff Danny Green we thought he could be. We've seen playoff Rondo come back and resurrect. We've seen Dwight Howard resurrect his career. Like, this team is literally clicking on all cylinders. Then you add Avery Bradley back next year. Then you add potentially the home court advantage back, which the Lakers would have had. This team gets better and gets even more scarier next year. Remember, the Lakers were the best team as far as road record all season. So they could play anywhere. That's why they're showing it doesn't matter if they have home court advantage. They're the most experienced team. There's no team that has more players on their roster that have won a championship than this squad does. And then you get a guy like Anthony Davis, who's now coming into his own. Once he becomes a champion, man, listen, I'm going to tell you how big last night's shot was. Think about this. That was the first game-winning, buzzer-beating shot in the Western Conference Finals for the Lakers since 2002, when the Lakers were looking to three-peat and knocked off the Sacramento Kings. That was Robert Ory's shot. Now you've got Anthony Davis hitting that kind of playoff buzzer beater to win a game, which basically almost won a series. I think this thing is over. I don't know if there's anybody out there who think Denver has a chance. Go into the comment section below and let me know, because I don't see it. I'm a Laker fan, I know that, but I don't see it. Let me know in the comment section below, man. Do you think any one of these 3 teams can upset the Lakers this year? Who's going to stop this Laker team from winning a championship? Let me know in the comment section below. Listen, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. Make sure that you come back for Friday's video, because Friday we're going to break down the real series which is left, because the West is over. We're going to break down the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, because now that the Celtics have gotten Gordon Hayward back, that's a real series over there now. That's a real series, and which one of these teams can come out of the East, and which one of these teams has the best chance to actually upset the Lakers. That's what Friday's video is going to be. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the logo right here. If you missed my video that I did previously, breaking down the facts, breaking down the statistics, breaking down the historical trends, as well as the current present day trends and stats to support why the Lakers will win the championship, click the box right here. Make sure that you stay safe out in those streets, and remember, we still demand justice for Breonna Taylor and Jacob Blake. Peace.